It's your homegirl, Jenny Leigh with VRA Realty. Welcome to another episode of Good to Know in Chester County, your inside scoop on local businesses that make Chester County feel like home. And today's guest, we have Alexandra Jacquard, the owner of Hen and Chic Vintage, a boutique full of timeless treasures and vintage charm. Thank you for coming, Alexandra.
Thank you.
I am so excited to hear about your business, and I'm sure everybody else is too. So why don't you tell us what it's all about?
Well, Hen and Chic Vintage is a wonderful store where you can find vintage and antique pieces for your home or your office space or anything that you're really looking for. And I offer them on my Etsy page at henandchicvintage.com.
Okay, perfect. So how long have you had Hen and Chic Vintage?
Well, its inception started in 2010.
Wow.
When I decided that I wanted to make soap for my family.
Fantastic.
Because I couldn't afford Christmas gifts. So it's
very creative.
It is. And my boyfriend, now husband at the time, bought me this soap kit, and it kind of started from there. But then I thought, I have this antique background and I have this love of antiques and love of vintage items, that why don't I take it a little step further and really try to incorporate that into my everyday life?
Yeah.
Things happen. You need to pay the bills. I had to get a job. I couldn't do this as a side thing. So it really kicked off in 2017.
Okay. I was just going to say that I think what you were sharing is a ton of business owners' same thoughts. You know, oh my gosh, I got to get this started. And then a million questions run in your head. But I'm glad, and I'm sure a million other people are really glad that you got it started, and I guess sounds like made it official in 2017.
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
So you said that you have a background in vintage. I would love to hear, or antiques,
Antiques.
But I would love to hear your background, because I'm assuming your background is really what created and got you here.
Yes.
Okay.
It really started when I was a little kid, and my mother's really big into antiques.
Okay.
And she would take me to the antique stores and say, "What kind of leg is that? What type?
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. But what type of furniture is that?"
You're being tested.
I was being tested. What time period is that from? What country is that from? And that kind of just spurred this love of old.
Yeah.
And then I was going to college, and I said, well, what do I want to do with this? And I wanted to be a history major, but that didn't quite pan out. So I did interior design, and I thought, oh, what a wonderful way to incorporate this love of antiques with doing an interior design background.
Yep.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be a set designer.
Yeah.
For the movies, for period films.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I thought, I'm going to be the next Sense and Sensibility. I'm going to be the next Pride and Prejudice set designer. That's what I'm going to do.
Love it.
And I went to graduate school in London, and where I studied at Sotheby's Institute of Art.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And that's what they do. I did the program, the Masters in Fine and Decorative Arts, which is furniture, painting, and ceramics.
Wow.
So I learned at the source of
that's incredible.
Of life for me.
Yeah.
And I did that. I did my dissertation. I was there for about 2 years.
Wow.
And I came home and I thought, well, what am I going to do with this now? I don't know. I love antiques and I love furniture. What am I going to do? And then I got a job at an auction house in Philadelphia.
Oh, cool.
And I started honing this love and honing this knowledge.
Bringing it back to your roots.
Exactly.
I mean, since you were a little kid.
Since I was a little kid. And then, unfortunately, the recession happened. And I think I can speak for everyone that, things went haywire.
Yeah.
And I then started working at another auction house, just part-time, while I was doing other things. And then they hired me full-time. And I worked for them for about 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know what? Maybe this is the time. Maybe I should do something with this. I really love what I'm doing. And I ended up working at an appraisal company, doing people's furniture, paintings, things like that for insurance purposes or estate planning. Yep. I know you know about estate planning and things like that. So I started doing that for a couple years, and then I said, this is it. This is it. I have to do this. If I'm going to do it, I got to do it now. And with the support of my husband, we did it. And I started it in 2017.
Do you know how lucky you are?
Extremely.
Only just because you heard it. You heard it. You knew.
I knew.
I mean, right when to do it. And I love that, you shared that this is what you love doing.
I love it.
And just your the history of how everything evolved, I think is really cool. But also, you had the support.
I did.
And I feel like that's such a key factor in starting a business.
I mean, my husband, Brian, is definitely my biggest cheerleader and my biggest supporter. And so is the rest of my family, because they know that I've loved everything about antiques and vintage forever. And I couldn't be the set designer that I wanted to be for Pride and Prejudice. That's okay. But now I see myself as a set designer for your home with everyday items. And I love it.
Great perspective.
I love that.
Yeah.
And
wow, that was so fascinating to hear. So what would you say makes your business unique from other compared businesses?
I think for me is I'm buying these things because I have a real love for these items. And I love them so much that it's really hard for me to sell them.
You can't let them go.
I can't let them go. Each one of these items is something that I've hunted for. I've gone to the estate sales. I've gone to the auctions. I've curated these pieces specifically for my clientele.
Yeah.
And I am very picky with the things that I curate.
Yeah.
And I know that I have put so much care into this.
Yep.
And I really hope that reads on my shop's website.
I think it already does.
Oh, yeah.
Just talking right now. I mean, the fact that you're sharing how much time you spend, and I'm going to just keep going back to this, your strong knowledge. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, your mom testing you on what country is this from, or what time period, and then taking it to, a whole new level of studying it in London. It's incredible. So I'm really glad that you followed your passion, and it is very clear that when you're looking for pieces, you are very specific.
Very specific.
And when you are presenting it for your clients, you know what you're talking about. You can probably tell the passion and knowledge for every single piece that you have.
Yep.
Which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, wow, that was a great answer. Why did you choose Chester County to start your business?
It's kind of a long, short story. I'm an Army brat.
Okay.
And so I moved around every 2 years, 2 to 3 years. So I grew up in Europe and I had some time in Asia. So we came back to the States and my dad was ready for retirement.
Okay.
And he got a job here in Chester County.
Okay.
So we moved with him when he retired.
Sure.
And then I went to high school here, and then I went to college up in Scranton.
Yeah.
And then went to London.
This became
home
your
base.
Home
base, yeah.
Eventually, high school time.
Yep.
So, what did you think when this became your home, this county,
Well, I don't want to, it was a little weird because I was coming from military installations. I was coming from moving every 2 years.
Yeah.
It was weird to be part of a community that had known each other since they were children.
Yeah.
And it was really weird to see how those people interacted, where I was having to introduce myself every 2 to 3 years. These people knew everything about everybody.
Yeah.
And that was very strange for me. But I don't think my parents could have picked a better location to retire. I have said that this is God's country. I mean, the Chester County, out of all of the places that I have ever lived, it's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, and it's really, it's a great community.
Yeah.
And I love living here. And my husband was born here and he was raised here. So, now we have our daughter, and it's a wonderful place to live.
So no question.
No.
And I love that coming specifically from you, because you have shared you moved every 2 years. So you have experienced a ton of other areas. And you said something about Chester County that I think is very true. People love the community. People stay here.
They do. And if they don't, they go back, they come home.
Yeah.
I've had several people that go out, spread their wings and want to fly and do what they're doing, and then realize, you know what? Home. I want a home base. I want to put down and not be, I always considered myself a houseplant when I was a kid. I think it's a pretty good analogy for brats, specifically Army and, military brats, is we're a houseplant. We are just transported from one place to another, And then finally moving to Chester County, I was able to become a tree. I was able to to have roots for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
And that's what Chester County has provided for me. So.
Oh, that's phenomenal. What do you think with your business that you would like to share to all the listeners? Something that people might not realize. You know, in other words, is there a question that you get asked constantly when, you know, people are looking for something, you know, specific, or, you know, you can generalize it, but I just feel like, you know, sometimes there's something really good to point out in your business. So
I think for me, it is everything has a story. It's not everything has to be valuable and antiques roadshow quality for it to have value.
Yeah.
And I am not in the business of saying, oh, that's worth $1 million, you know, or whatever it is. I'm in the business of creating that story, curating those goods for you, and making you happy with what you've purchased from me.
Yeah.
Whether it's $5 million, great. I would love that. Yeah. But I really want people to have the experience of, you know, going to Hen and Chic, knowing that they're getting good quality stuff, they're getting great customer service, and they're getting a small business. And I think now in this day and age, people are really hungry for that. They're really hungry for the authenticity of it's locally sourced.
Yep. Huge.
Huge. People really want that. And they want to have that story of me going to the estate sale and buying a $10 dress that then turns out to be $300 or something like that. So I think people really thrive on having that story and then having that, well, and in the business we call it provenance, but having that background. And I love that. Oh, I get chills talking about this stuff, guys. I love this.
You really love your business.
I love it.
And I think
I love it.
Well, myself and anyone listening, I think it is just clear.
I wouldn't want to be anything else when I grow up.
Yeah.
This is what I want to be when I grow up.
You are so lucky just to know it and accomplish it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's people, I'm positive there's people in their 60s, you know, have that saying, oh, I wish I did.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I'm now passing it on. And that
was the next thing
Jen,
I was going to say.
I love it. Yep.
You're setting such a great example for your daughter, right?
Yes.
For your daughter of really going after what you love.
Oh, yeah.
And just being successful. I mean, I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So you're located in Kennett Square,
Correct.
right? So if I'm just walking by and I come in, like, what would I see?
Well, you're going to come by my house.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a basement that looks chaotic. However, there is a system.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things going on in the basement now, but there's stuff from the 1900s down there, and then there's these like owl resin napkin holders from the 1960s.
I love that.
Whatever I see, and I like it, and I think that's going to look good in my home. I think that's going to look good in someone else's home. But I do have a little bit of a problem where I think I said it before. I can't let go of these things sometimes because they're so beautiful and they do have such a rich history and a rich story. But I know that once I set that little bird free, it'll be okay.
Well, because it's going to go to somebody who's specifically looking for something like that. From what I'm gathering, what I think is so cool is connecting someone with that who you offer some really unique, cool things. So when somebody sees it, you know, so say somebody moves into a new home and they are just really struggling to find that piece that fits. You know,
and I've had that several times.
And I feel like people are probably so excited when they see what you offer, and they're like, I've never seen that anywhere. This is going to be perfect, you know. So
and also I help them. What I've also noticed is I help people realize the other potential for the piece. So say you have, I don't know, a candle holder, something simple. Well, what else can you use it for? Can you use it as a paper towel holder? Can you use it as a towel holder? And I try to help people use it beyond the actual item.
That is phenomenal.
And it takes a little bit of thinking. Thinking outside the box. But I feel like people really are receptive to that as well.
Absolutely.
Because some people just see it as, oh, that's just what it is, and I don't really have a space for that. Well, maybe you have space for this. So I like doing that as well.
That's pretty cool. you are definitely going outside of the box and just sharing, the candlestick holder. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you could.
I never thought of that.
Yep.
What are some of the biggest challenges in your business, and how do you navigate through it?
I would say the biggest challenge I have right now is competition. Okay. I think with the knowledge that everybody has at their fingertips, it's really hard for me to stay ahead in business, because everybody has the knowledge of how much is that worth? How much is this worth? Oh, it's not worth my time. Oh, this is, I can find it somewhere better or somewhere cheaper or something like that. So I find that to be difficult in some regard. But again, I feel like my shop's a little different. I'm taking so much time to curate those pieces, as opposed to just going somewhere and saying, okay, yep, I want that, and that, and I can sell it for that, and that. And it's churning and burning, and I don't do that.
And just from everything that you're sharing today, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your knowledge when you are selling something, it's legit.
Yes, I would like to think so. Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Yes.
And you can provide a story, a ton of information. I think that is something to be valued.
Yes.
I think that some of the competition maybe might not, if they're just going, I want this, this, and this, I can sell it for this, this, and this. It's more of just like a, rotating, let's get it sold.
Yep.
Versus, people who are looking for this stuff, they're looking for a reason.
Right.
Right. And and like you said, they want to hear the story. So they are not going to get that from someone who's just quick, or could be inaccurate maybe.
It could be. Yeah. It could be. And I will be the first to admit sometimes I get it wrong.
Yeah.
But I try my best to research every piece. Yeah. And I know where my strengths lie and I know where my weaknesses lie. And I really try to lean into a happy medium of both.
Yeah.
So I find something at an estate sale or I find something at auction and I'm like, oh, that's really neat. Let me see if I can do a little bit of homework on that. And then all of a sudden I go down this rabbit hole of, whoa, I didn't know any of that information. Yeah. And I think it's a little difficult because people do assume that I know about every single thing. And that's not, I don't have that kind of knowledge base. It's impossible to know about every single piece. So when I find something like that, I love that.
Yeah.
And I yearn for those pieces where I can just, oh yes, that's really cool. Yeah. Let's do some more. Oh, that's really cool. That leads to this. And so I like that too.
And I think a lot of people respect that.
Yeah. I hope so.
I mean, I'm going to say it. I think a ton of other business owners are going to say the same thing you just said. We do not know every single detail in our business.
It's impossible.
But if you put the effort in to try and find it and figure it out, that's huge.
Yep, absolutely.
So you briefly shared a few things, but how can people find you?
Okay. Well, I am on Etsy.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I do not have a brick and mortar site. Yep. So I'm on Etsy on henandchicvintage.com. And I also have my own website, henandchicvintage.com. Not chic. Chic. It is a play on words. I'm the hen, my daughter's the chick. So it's a play on words. So henandchicvintage.com.
Okay. That's pretty simple. I think listeners, hopefully they check you out. I know I am. I'm really excited.
Thank you, Jen.
And I think sharing like all the details and all the passion you have for this, but like the knowledge that if you don't have, you're going to do your best to figure it out.
And I also can help as well. I have plenty of people that are looking for specific things. I have a list of people that, hey, if you see a old mixer, can you give me a call? I have a guy who wants all vintage billiard things. And I keep my eyes open and he's on speed dial if I find vintage billiard things. Type trays, another thing. People are looking for type trays because they're doing knick-knacky things now.
Okay.
Knick-knack vignettes.
Okay.
So people want vintage type trays. And I'm okay. Whatever it is, if you're looking for something specific, I can also help you find things like that.
I'm so glad you remembered to share that before we wrap it up.
I know. I just thought on the tip of my tongue.
Like, if people are looking for something, specific, even if you don't have it,
I can always keep my eyes peeled. Now it might take a little while. Sure. You have to be patient.
Yeah, of course.
But I can definitely find that if I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I think you shared wonderful information. I know I'm going to check you out, and I can't wait to maybe find some really cool pieces, and hopefully I'm sure other listeners will too. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jen.
Sunshine, I'll be your love, I'll be your sunshine.